Coverage varies by plan. View contract and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
Do you own a 2005 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all? With the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering a low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save you thousands off costly vehicle repairs. Get your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage are included. Visit EnduranceWarranty.com. EnduranceWarranty.com.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find. Joseph from Carlisle and Gavin the Dog. Guide you through the ways of Sharpfall.
Do I remember doing this episode 4 years ago? No, it can't be 4 years ago.
3, because it would have been the 20-year anniversary of the greatest tragedy in Irish history.
Yeah, we've covered the first Irish Civil War.
And now we're going to cover
the real Civil War.
The real Civil War.
The whole Collins, Dev, that was just so that you, the listener, will have reference for what we're going to be talking about in this episode. So when we make big sweeping comparisons to the two of them, you understand what we're talking about. So Saipan, the theatrical release, is coming out in...
They said it's going to be like the 2nd of January, but then it was at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it got...
Was it?
Yeah. So that's why all the reviews, that's why everyone thought it was coming out.
Alongside Nirvana, the band that showed the movie.
Yeah.
What a double header.
It was that and Saipan. It was made for me.
Yeah, there's like...
What am I doing here?
Yeah. There's, one Shy Talk history fan, probably, living in Toronto, having an absolute field day.
But the reviews have come in, and it's meant to be decidedly average.
Yeah.
Which means, and if that's an Irish review saying that it's not great, this is going to be a steaming pile of shit.
Well, maybe...
No, only ever happens. If an Irish film doesn't hit 4 stars, that means it's 2.
Anyway, what about...
But yeah, well,
what about Saipan?
But we did the episode 3 years ago.
Live at Christmas in Whelan's.
Yeah, in Whelan's, and down in Little Whelan's. We had done the history of the FAI. We did John Delaney.
Yeah.
The Cowboy Special.
Yes.
And the Joe Delaney.
His dad.
And the Night of the Long Knives.
Which is still the funniest thing, I think, in all of this FAI retellings, that he uses he calls it the crystal knock. With, like, I know we're still in Live Remember the Holocaust now, but that was like he would have grown up during the Holocaust. To refer to a mild FAI scandal as the same level
there's nothing mild about it, Kevin.
It's the crime of the century.
Yeah, and then we did the live episode.
Okay.
And then we did the post-Saipan aftermath of what happened to Mick McCarthy and Roy Keane after all of that, and a little bit about the FAI.
You never hear from either of them these days.
It's just crazy that like 20-something years later, they were still both wrapped up in just... They were the main men of the FAI. Like Keane and Martin O'Neill had just left Ireland and as the management team, and then who took over? Mick McCarthy.
Yeah,
that it had gone full. Well, no, it'll go full circle eventually when they give it to Roy Keane, and then he'll burn the FAI to the ground.
Well, now even all the so when we're recording this now, we're in the beautiful moment of Irish football World Cup qualifying hopes, where we've already probably lost it.
But there's a chance.
Less than a chance than usual, but we've played 2 games, fuck both of them, and it's not looking good. So the next games aren't out for another couple of weeks. But all the chatter, well, some of the chatter at the minute is getting Damien Duff in as the new manager. So this is really just going back to... So even though this is events that happened 20 years ago...
He'll come up in this story.
Oh yeah, well sure. Yeah. But this is the last time... I think it's fair to say probably the last time Irish football was good. It's never been to the level that it was in 2002.
No, and it never will be again. That's nearly impossible for it to happen.
Don't dash their hopes so early in the podcast.
Nah, but it could be fun if we get Damien Duff in. I did see someone say the other week, he's getting a lot of shit.
You sort of subconsciously did the little Damien Duff there. Dude, like, you'll watch it back in the tape there, but you're like, you said Damien Duff.
Well, he is our Lord and our Savior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone giving out the other week that they were like, oh, sure, if he got the Irish job, he'd just leave straight away. He stayed at Shelburne as a manager. He's a multi-millionaire, and he moved home to Ireland to manage the League of Ireland, to be shouted abuse at from opposition fans. All of that for a couple of grand. And he did all of that and gave up his Friday nights and gave up like non-stop training.
Yeah.
Just doing that all just for the benefit of Irish football for 4 straight years. And then he was like, it's too much and the whole thing's ruined. I'm stepping away. And people are like, quitter. He's like, fuck you, man. You're like, what? I've not seen another like Premier League footballer that played for Ireland.
Yeah.
And never mind has like 100 caps. Just a guy who has like 20, 25, move back to Ireland when you have that much money in the bank and put in that much work to get that much abuse. And then you do it for 4 years. And then as soon as you leave, people are like, I knew you weren't cut out for it.
Well, now, am I right in saying that he stepped away or walked away or stormed away, whatever way you want to put it?
A couple of weeks before they were playing in the qualification game in Europe before they played Linfield, and that was going to be box office.
Sure, but that he walked away because he figured that the players and or the FAI and or the League of Ireland weren't taking it seriously enough.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Little...
He learned from it.
Yeah. That he was very committed and he wanted to see them do well on a bigger stage. And they were taking the piss.
Yeah.
It was boys' holiday, and they weren't putting no graft in.
And you know what? But to get to there,
he rang up Roy. He was like, "I get it.
Yeah, it's been 23.
I finally understand.
It's been 23 years, but okay.
Yeah. So before we start, let's just say this episode is not sponsored by McDade's.
Not officially brought to you by Football Special.
Yes.
We wish it was, but
you can drink other cola as if you want during this. As
the only cola that gives a damn.
Yeah, that and Palestine cola. Those are the only bloody colas allowed in this house. But McDade's, we'll do more football stuff. Send us an email. We'll send you an email. Respond
money
to our email.
Yeah, respond to our email.
Yeah.
Give us money or just merch.
Yeah. We'll do football specials.
But we can't start talking about Saipan without obviously. Well, you can go listen to the older episodes about the history of the FAI, and that'll give you some background. But
yes, they'll be behind the paywall.
Yes.
On Head Stuff Plus.
Yes, go and get those. They're out now. We'll start real quickly. 1996. Ireland lose the Euro 1996 qualification playoff game to the Netherlands 2-0. Jack Charlton steps down as Irish coach. His generation of players are getting old, they're leaving, they're retiring. He wasn't going to be around to foster the next crop, but that left the Irish job vacant.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack is after leaving. He qualified us
R.I.P.
for the Euro 88.
Yeah.
For Italia 90, the World Cup, and then again for the World Cup in America 1994.
Yes.
So some of the 3 tournaments in 8 years.
Yes.
So every second year. So 75% qualification rate.
Yeah.
We've not been to a World Cup.
No.
We went to
if you're sitting at home listening to this, you're like, oh yeah, I know that those events happen every couple of years. What Jason's talking about is that we're going to them. This isn't just that these events are happening.
Yeah.
We're actually there.
Yeah.
I'm in with a chance of getting somewhere, which is unheard of.
It was crazy. And the fact that I was alive for only one of them. And
That's true. Yeah, we were babies.
Yeah, no, we weren't. For Italian 90, neither of us were.
USA 94.
94,
we would have
been kids.
Yeah.
And so, but then there's so much reverence given to that time, and everyone in Ireland knows about Italian 90. Most people who talk about Italian 90 are wearing the jerseys like you're wearing today. It's too hot.
This is... No, what we reckon this is like, what, 2000? This is 2002 probably.
No, that's 2004 or 6.
2004?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was going to wear this. My retro jacket.
It's too
way
warm.
too hot.
We're recording this on a balmy September afternoon in the
and not room. Because I'm angry about the contents of the episode that we're about to do, just because of the sun. But
a rag newspaper that besmirched our boy.
They will come up.
Yes.
The Republic of Ireland has just gone through the heyday of soccer.
Yeah. We didn't know it at the time.
No, I'd say some people did.
This is like it's retroactive journalism, but like everyone in 2006 retroactively saw the crash coming. I'd say no one... Italian or USA 94 people like it's never going to stop.
Yeah,
who's going to be happy forever?
But yeah, so the Irish job is vacant.
Okay,
won't be for long.
But unlike now, I imagine it's now. It seems they can't get anyone to do it for love nor money.
Well, see, no, because
back then I'd say people are probably
no. A lot of the players, we had a lot of players back then playing for teams like Liverpool, Manchester United, all of that. As soon as all of those guys like Ronnie Whelan and all of that they leave, we don't have that anymore. that there's no one playing for top teams. It's all younger people coming through, playing for smaller teams. There's not a whole lot of money in the FAI. There's been scandals.
There is, but just not for
not for things like for training or for player development. No. But so the job's vacant. We just had a tough, hard-nosed Northern Englishman to whip us into shape for our golden generation.
Yes.
The FAI had usually gone before that for a cheaper option. Okay. Usually get an Irish manager in.
Yeah.
Sometimes one who just retired from playing. Sometimes one who is still playing on a part-time basis.
Yeah. So who knows the game better than the people playing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who has more time to dedicate to managing?
Yeah.
The lads still playing the game professionally.
Who knows the broom better than the janitor?
Yeah. We went through lads like Mick Megan, Liam Toohey, Owen Hand, and then there was Johnny Giles, who was playing for Ireland and managing Ireland / West Brom, Shamrock Rovers. He was over in the States for a bit. They're like, it's great time.
Yeah, sure.
But in this way, they could get the best of both worlds. They could get a lad who was just retired from playing, Irish legend.
Mick?
Some people say he's English.
And so, okay.
Yeah. Although, for a man you're calling English, first name, slur for an Irishman.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
Paddy.
Yeah. But Mick was managing Millwall in England.
A very English team.
A very racist team.
Yeah. That's what it said.
Yeah, he was in the second division, the championship now, so just below the Premier League. Yeah, tough talking, tough tackling, dead-eyed, broken-nosed centre-back from Barnsley. McCarthy was the son of Waterford man Charlie McCarthy. Mick had been to Euro 88 and captained the side for Italia 90 with Jack. Nice. He had 57 caps, 2 goals, the record set for the most amount of fouls in the 1990 World Cup, and the most amount of fouls committed without receiving a yellow card.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Great, yeah.
So wait, the most amount of fouls across the entire Italian 90 World Cup?
Yes.
And the most without getting the yellow card?
Yeah.
That's great.
Just constantly fouling and then just going, what?
Did you get away with it?
Yeah.
That's Millwall.
That's what we're looking to instill into these lads.
Yeah. Who knows the game better than this man?
He'd been managing for about 4 years now at this stage. So it's still attainable for the FAI to get him. But it's because he's in the second division and doing well. He's not doing well in the Premier League. They're like, oh, maybe we get him here. He's had 2 great seasons where they nearly get promoted. One mid-table one where there's speculation of him heading to Ireland with the papers. And then in 1995-96, it saw Millwall top the league heading into Christmas time. Halfway through the season, top of the league. Had a giant scalp by beating Premier League team Everton in the FA Cup. Oh. And then Ireland lose that playoff game. Charlton's gone. The FAI vultures come circling for McCarthy.
Yeah.
They come in with a bumper contract of 20% less money than you're on at Millwall.
Nice.
A Vauxhall Cavalier to replace your BMW. And an agreement to pay for all of his work phone calls, but you can sort your private ones out yourself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
McCarthy said that one member of the FAI asked him in the interview, does the salary have any bearing on whether you'd take the job?
Mick, I know you're not like these grubby money men that have come and gone for the position before. I'm sure you're just here for the love of the game, to see the boys do well, pride in the shirt, and we wouldn't need to worry about paying you.
That's all we have to offer at the minute.
Now, by the way, that Vauxhall car, you can only drive it Monday to Friday. That is a company. Any weekend stuff, that's a bit iffy.
They're for work drives. Private drives, you got to sort your own
You got to sort your own stuff, yeah.
But he talked to Jack Charlton.
The FAI means transparency.
But Jack told him that he said, if you want it, take it in spite of everyone.
But okay, so it's not an enticing job to go into, but the work's hard, but at least the money's bad.
Exactly. Mick stepped down on the February 3rd because they weren't doing well, they were losing, and he had this offer now for the Irish team. They weren't going to get promoted. They went from the top of the league coming into Christmas to, by the time he left and the end of that season, relegated.
Oh.
They dropped from top to, I think they finished like 21st or 22nd.
Right.
And they went down.
Yeah.
Just little backstory for Millwall. Well, a relegation sad, and Ireland slightly less sad. McCarthy, he goes about getting rid of more of the older squad.
Yeah.
Getting lads to retire, many of them which he'd played with.
So they think it's easier coming from him, maybe?
Yeah, I think Collins post-Civil War.
Right. Okay, yeah. The men he's fought alongside.
And now all of a sudden he's turned around and how things are different.
Yeah.
He brought in the younger faces, lads like Ian Hart, David Connolly, Shay Given, Gary Breen.
Men who weren't even there for the signing of the
and they would have
Irish Treaty.
But they would have gone to have a great 2002 World Cup. But at the time, kids.
young bucks.
Filling the roles of famous men. Now, a little bit of backstory for Roy Keane and the FAI and Mick McCarthy.
Right.
Keane didn't make it into the under-15s Irish squad. He blames the pro-Dublin bias of the FAI, which is almost 100% factual. Like, that's true.
Okay,
That's
right.
all around the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Surely there's a handful of players that are good at soccer, and it's always like, no, they're all just actually, so it's say Kevin's boys, just pick there,
Sure.
and then straight in. You go, how about Cork or Galway or anywhere else?
Anywhere else in the country.
Yeah. So he blames also his late development and into the English game on that, because he's not playing for the national team. So they'd go, well, if you're not good enough to play for Ireland underage, how are you good enough to come over and play in the Premier League? He eventually does go from Cove Ramblers to Nottingham Forest, plays for the famous Brian Clough.
Yeah.
And then from there we'll go on to Man United in 93. I think he moves to Man United.
Right.
But so Keane had he always had a dislike for the FAI, because he didn't get in when he was younger.
Yeah.
He finally did get into the under 21 team.
Would he, just for the people who wouldn't know at home, would he be the sort of man that would hold a grudge? Or
He'd be the kind of man who would hold it for about 15 years. He'd be the kind of man who'd make a 10 pole out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And base the rest of his character and life decisions on something like that.
Yeah, a cantankerous sort of a fella. Yeah. They'd make a career afterwards just going on football reports being like, those bollocks.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. What would you have done? Something different.
Something different. Headbutted a man.
When Keane went into the under 21 setup finally, back in I think it was around 1990, 1991, he had a quote then saying that the organisation was a bit of a joke.
Ooh.
And this is, and if
The FAI?
The FAI.
The
And if he
hell?
thought that the under 21 setup was a joke,
Yeah.
you want to see the senior team. You want to see when lads stop trying.
Yeah.
You want to see when you've got some laurels to rest on.
Oh, God, yeah. When you get in and you're young and you're keen and you want to play the game, and after a couple of years you're like, oh, all right, well,
This is a piss up
not
now.
going anywhere, but yeah, I will get to travel around the country drinking as much Beamish as I can.
But he would have a brief falling out with the senior team when he refused to show up for international duty against everyone online says Algeria. I looked up, we've never, in that time period, we never
Yeah.
played them. So it's definitely an Albania game.
Right.
This is another team that starts with Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
But Jack Charlton, through back channels, then basically told Keane that if he doesn't show up for the game, he'd never play him again. He'd never pick him, and that'd be him done for international football.
Right.
Until he picked him the very next year in 1992.
Okay.
And was the Irish player of the tournament at USA in 1994.
Right.
So went on to be a stalwart for Jack and been one of his best players. Also
Yes.
because he is our best player.
Sure.
He couldn't make the Albania game because he'd said that his Nottingham Forest manager, Brian Clough, legendary Brian Clough, he'd said that he couldn't go because there was a game that they had, a cup game, 7 days later against second division Barnsley, and he really needed Keane for that.
So what you're saying is that Roy Keane was instructed by his British Football Championship manager to forgo an international game so he could play better for the club team.
Yes.
Interesting. And will that be something that will feature later on in this?
Oh, we'll go through it chronologically. Now, this might paint a bad picture of Roy Keane.
Oh, yeah.
But he was good crack when he was drinking. Now, I'll take you back to Boston, 1992. All the lads are over for the 1992 US Cup, which is a friendly international tournament where you'd go over and play against the UFC, Mexico, and they'd bring in one or two other teams. Ireland just kept getting asked over.
Well-
because tourism.
Yeah.
And a lot also just great crack
Just
drinking.
good crack,
and
yeah.
we'd go over and not take it seriously, and it's great.
Yeah.
And we're also at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people would know the players from the Premier League and stuff, and it was...
But the level of USA and Canada, not Mexico.
Oh, no. Mexico would be in there winning the tournaments.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But Canada wouldn't be allowed anywhere near it.
Oh,
They'd
okay.
forgo them.
Yeah.
They would bring in like Paraguay and Mexico and us.
Right.
Yeah. So it's 1992. Keane's in the team now.
Yes.
Because he wasn't there for, say, like 91. We don't get on great, but also international friendly tournament.
It's not what it's about.
In the summer.
Sure.
In between seasons, you're
Yeah.
like, I don't care.
It's a fact-finding mission.
No, it's a piss up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's once all the lads are on the lash for it, and as soon as it's over, they continue being on the lash. The night before they're meant to go home, they're all out drinking.
Yep.
Keane goes drinking with Steve Staunton, the gaffer.
Yep.
Pretty late, and then they continue late into the night, and then they're late for the bus to the airport the next morning. So Charlton scolds them and a couple of the other lads, and he's like giving out to them. Mick McCarthy, who's about to retire now as team captain and player for the national team, he steps in and he stands up for Jack, and he's like, it's not right, and he gives out to Staunton saying that's not on, proper, out of order, and he says, Niall Quinn, you should know better. And he says to Roy Keane, he says, first trip, disgrace. And then Keane, as a child, turns around to the captain of the team and says, first touch, disgrace. Everyone laughs at Mick McCarthy.
Oh, so here we have, a young Roy.
A hot shot.
Yeah.
He decided to not play for the team, knowing that, like, he said, I'm not showing up. And he was like, well, you'll be banned. He's like, oh, you'll have me back.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he does get back, he's like, I'm going to pick a fight with a man who's a good 4 or 5 inches pretty tall. Well, it's hard to know how tall.
But also,
he's taller and bigger than him, and the captain of the team, and I've been a lifelong professional. And he's like, this is a funny line to say.
Yeah. And he's doing it in front of the rest of the lads. Yeah. Therefore, undermining management. Mm-hmm. Wonder will that show up in the rest of the story.
So now we go back to 1996, February 1996. Mick has just got the Irish job, and he's given the role of captain to Roy Keane.
Okay.
Which people think...
okay.
Yeah, bury the hatchet. They haven't really seen each other or whatever kind of since. Wouldn't have been playing against each other too much.
But he's clearly, the standout player?
He's the standout player.
Okay.
And he's, again, the player of the tournament for us in 94.
Yeah.
It's 96 now. We need him. He's our best player.
Yeah.
And we're like, right, you're captain.
Yes.
So many things in this story get jumbled up because everyone online, it's like the game of what we used to call Chinese whispers, and now we've learned that we're not allowed to say that.
It's called Asian telephone.
Japanese whispers. Yeah. This could either be in 2000, right before the qualifiers for the 2002 World Cup, or it could be in 96 as soon as Mick becomes manager.
Yeah.
But it also could be both times where Keane goes and has a sit down with him and they talk about improvements they could make for the benefit of the Irish setup.
Yeah.
Things like not always being on the piss.
Well,
you can still be on the piss, but just not always on the piss.
Or compromise.
Yeah. Better diet for the players instead of this is not far removed from the Harry Ramsdale challenge, where Jack Charlton had all the lads right before a qualification game against Austria. He brought them to a restaurant that he had shared.
That he owned it, yeah.
And they cut the ribbon there, and they all ate. They had a competition to see who could eat a yard of fish. And then the next day, guess what? We lost.
What the hell?
Yeah. You can't blame fish and chips for losing game of football. You fucking can. You can, they will.
Is that near here?
We can go. We should definitely go.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, so that was towards the
People
end.
People are learning stuff.
Yeah, and that's the end of Jack's reign as well. So they were like, how about we don't do that again? Because that was one of the big reasons why we didn't qualify for that tournament. Or definitely one of the contributing factors. But yeah, these things are very tough to qualify for, especially back then. They don't open it up to many teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, small. When Brian O'Driscoll talks about the 1% gains.
Yeah.
I keep adding up those 1% gains. Put all those 1% gains at the end of the match. That's the 1 yard you need.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Frick that. How about a yard of fish?
When you need to dig deep at the end of the match, you don't want to be thinking about the massive 3-1 you had the night before with a side of breaded salmon.
Yeah. Well, lots of players had said, and Keane had been quoted as saying that lads had said after that loss to Austria that they were like, after they said the last 20 minutes, their legs were completely gone.
Were they?
And they probably had a couple of pints as well.
Well, you got to watch the chips then. Yeah, I don't know why I thought you get breaded salmon out of a fish and chip shop. But
they think then that maybe that Boston nonsense, water under the bridge.
Yeah.
It gets to the first game. It's a friendly match against Russia. So Keane's captain of the team, and he does that to a Russian man.
Yeah.
And he gets sent off for that, which would have been uncommon at the time in football for that to happen. Because the game's gone now.
Yeah.
But back then, you
could
assault a man on the field.
Yeah.
And then some lemon, all of a sudden, you got a great pre-match meal.
When Mick is looking at his legacy of the most fouls in the Italian 90s, come on now. Come on.
Rake a man's shins. Don't kick him in the knees.
Okay, don't do it when the bloody camera's looking at you. It's all a bit off the ball tactics.
I believe we lose that game, but then he's not there for the next game.
Yeah.
And then, so we're playing again in May. And so we're playing 3 friendly matches in May. The very first one is at home to Portugal. And Keane doesn't show up for the last training session.
Right.
The day before the match. Says he's injured and goes back to Manchester. Only problem is he hasn't told Mick McCarthy that. And he hasn't told the FAI that.
Yeah.
He claims that he told Man United to tell them. But he just left.
That's not the chain of command anyway.
Yeah. But so he is probably in the wrong there. He says that
even if he told Man United, he should be telling them himself.
That's what.
Or surely
that's
to God,
what Mick's point is.
but surely he is an agent or something like. If
That
he's
you could, yeah,
like they,
you'd think. Or also, no, this is the problem.
Well,
See.
yeah, but do they at that time? Would he?
Yeah,
have,
no, they would have. Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Also, this is a theme that will run through, but he won't just do that small little courtesy of telling literally anyone. Yeah, he says that Man United should have contacted them and that they did, and then that the message slipped through the FAI. And then Mick's point is, even if it did, why didn't you just tell me or you call me? You don't have to tell everyone in the team. Tell just me, the manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the only problem is that Mick says this to the press. And there's an interview where he says that, and he just goes like, if I was doing something like that, I would have told someone.
Yeah.
Keane wouldn't like that, being called out on your clear problems. When you're in the wrong and someone brings that up, oh, no.
Yeah, well, just like in a dressing room, calling out, back chatting to management. And here we go, chatting shit in the press.
Well, see, that's the... But also, that was on the news, that people know that Keane didn't show up because he's been here all week, and where is he gone? And he goes, oh, you could have just lied for him, but you shouldn't have to do that. You're a new manager, under pressure, just got the job.
Yeah.
So Keane misses those 3 friendly games, because they're playing 3 back-to-back, can't play any of those. So he misses a run of Portugal, Croatia, they're both at home, and then we go away to Rotterdam to play the Netherlands.
Okay.
And so Keane misses all of those. Then it comes to the 1996 summer, and we're invited back over to the US Cup one more time.
Nice.
And Keane refuses to go.
Okay.
Because it's a summer friendly tournament, and he's too busy now playing for Man United.
Yeah.
And he's played long seasons, and he doesn't want to do that, even though he's captain of the country. So he doesn't go as we lose.
But he's not playing. He's off for the summer.
Yeah.
But he's tired.
He's tired, so he's not going to go and play against United States, Mexico, or Bolivia.
Okay.
And then he doesn't show up for... Now, this is probably debatable that whether... Because people say it was a self-imposed exile. I think having got sent off and missed the first 2 games. Played the first game, not there for the next one. Yeah, played the first one, got sent off. Not there, can't play in the second one.
Yeah.
Doesn't show up for those 3 games, and then doesn't go to the US tournament for the next 3.
Yeah.
He's basically missed 9 games. He played 1 out of 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
as
is
the captain, which is not good.
Not fantastic.
No. But none of them...
1 of 8, I should say. Yeah, 1 of 8 friendlies. But he got sent off.
They're all friendlies.
They're all friendlies, but he's played 1 game.
They're friendlies against a lot of countries that have just popped into existence.
Portugal, the Netherlands, United States, and Mexico.
Yeah, I don't recognize
just
them.
brand
Well,
new.
Czech and Czech Republic had only been invented in the mid-90s, I think.
But fair.
Yeah.
But still... That
Bolivia, USA, wouldn't it be massive?
It'd be a
football?
common theme anyway for Keane, because...
But is he not right on to some extent? I mean, I suppose he's captain, so that changes it. But if he is putting in the legwork for his club team during the year, and he's not allowed to go on the piss when he goes to these US friendlies.
You are. That's the
But
problem.
he's not, he got given out to the last time.
Never. It's not stopped anyone.
Yeah.
It continues all the way through this story that it's never been a problem,
Okay.
that they're okay with it.
But has he not got a point not to go to do that?
There kind of is, but there's also an
I suppose he should be playing with the
There's an
team.
unwritten rule that says then if you're captain of the team,
Yeah.
then you show up, A, to set a standard for other people.
Yeah.
And then B, just to show face. And you don't have to play in every game. You could just show up and do whatever. But also you could see it from a very driven man who's at the top of his game.
That he wants to...
Rest up, because I'm going to be playing Champions League football and trying to win Premier Leagues. Ryan Giggs barely ever played for Wales. Like there's a big history of Alex Ferguson making that he didn't want his best players playing international football if they didn't have to.
Yes.
So that's a part of it. Roy Keane, between the years of 94 and 2002, played in 7 out of 28 non-Euro or World Cup qualification / tournament games.
Okay.
So out of any friendly games, he's played out of 7 out of 28, which is a quarter.
Yeah.
And two of the 7 friendlies that he did play in, they were in the build-up to the 2002 World Cup, so they were, as a team, gelling, getting ready. And so if it wasn't an important one, so he's played 5, basically, that weren't, like, mandatory.
Yeah, but this is something that I learned from the first time we did these episodes, that I kind of... Because the only time I pay attention to football is when it's national football.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really fathom not putting everything on the line for your national team. But there's no money in it.
You get paid.
But, like, compared to if he's a very successful club team player, it's not... this is, I suppose it's the flip of what I would have thought growing up.
Yeah.
That is your main job and your main thing you're working with.
Yeah.
And playing for the country is like a nice bonus. It'll make people feel happy back home. Realistically, you probably don't live there. And there's no real, you're putting your main career in danger. Could get an injury.
Yeah.
Anything, like, you know what, whatever could happen. But it's basically like a piss up holiday for lads who aren't maybe taking it as seriously as some other lads.
That is also very true.
Yeah. But that, I guess I never saw it that way when I was a kid, because for me that was like the only.
No, most
why would you
lads-
give up playing for your country to go play for a British team?
Most people wouldn't see it that way now, that there's a handful
Yeah.
of players in the history of football who kind of get away with that, because right now lads leave Premier League teams, get injured on international duty,
Yeah.
completely ruin their careers, or their seasons for their clubs.
Sure.
Lots of problems with that.
Yeah.
And it keeps happening. So it's like there's a select few, and a lot of them, not to say it's only Man United, but a lot of them tend to have played for Alex Ferguson.
Okay.
Yeah, which again, it makes sense that if everyone agreed to that, that would be grand. But then you've lads like Shay Given who show up for, obviously he wasn't playing Champions League football that often, so like one season for Newcastle,
Yeah.
but, again later on for City maybe. But that there's a lot of lads, like say Dean Kiley would have been a Premier League goalkeeper. Came and showed up for Ireland like 9 or 10 years in a row, ended up with like 10 or 11 caps.
Yeah.
Because Shay Given showed up for every single game and he wanted to hit over 100 caps.
Okay.
A lot of lads were like taking pride in the idea of like trying to get to 100 caps in a time of football where that was barely ever done.
Yeah.
So
but
you have-
also just taking pride in the national team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess, yeah.
But also, yeah, they wouldn't have been
I wouldn't
been
have-
playing European football, and they wouldn't have been challenging for the league. So there's probably times they could take off, and it's not as grueling for them.
Yeah.
But also, a little bit, just a comparison, and not to be comparing the two of them all the time, but Mick McCarthy missed his brother's wedding, where he was best man, to make his debut in a friendly game against Poland in 1984.
That, I don't know if is that normal. That seems insane.
That does seem insane.
But at the same time,
took pride in the idea of playing
Yeah.
for Ireland because he was an Irishman. Or,
Yes.
he born and grew up in England, but his dad, Charlie,
Yeah.
big Irish fan. So Keane misses the first two qualification games of the 98.
Right.
The qualifiers against it's Liechtenstein and Macedonia, who we've beaten handily enough.
why was
And
he not putting his health on the line to help the boys get over Liechtenstein?
Well, those ones we could have probably. It's
Probably could have done without him.
Yeah. Oh, we've messed up to teams worse than that before. And
And
we'll
since.
continue to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that doesn't really matter because we get through those 5-0 and 3-0. We're grand. Then, big game. Iceland are coming to Dublin.
Ho ho.
Keane's barely played for us now for about, for the guts of the year.
Yeah.
Most of the year.
A young Heimer Heidelstein.
Hamer Hallgrimsson.
That's the man.
Yeah.
He's looking on.
Yeah, Keane comes back in for that. Now, there's newspaper reports at the time. There's journalists saying, how could he do that? How could he come back in now? You know what we should do? We should boo him. And then, and the fans do. There's a portion of the fans who boo him
Because he wasn't there for Liechtenstein and fucking,
he
what,
wasn't-
Macedonia?
He wasn't there for about 9 games.
Right, okay.
Yeah, like that's a lot. to
Yeah,
be-
okay.
But then by the end of the game, he was given man of the match, and they did sing his name by the end of it.
Yeah.
And songs about him. So that's
Yeah.
how much we needed him. It was still a 0-0 draw, but without him, it could have been a lot worse.
Okay.
This show is part of Headstuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like.
Hi, sorry. Oh God, I didn't mean to interrupt your podcast. Yes. Sorry, I'm young.
Yes, I'm hot and I'm gay and we're young hot guys.
Yes, yeah.
Really apologize for interrupting, but we have our own podcast.
Yes, it's also on the Head Stuff Podcast Network. Sorry for interrupting, but it's really good. And
Yeah, I didn't want to say this, but it's actually really, really, really
really
good.
funny.
Really funny.
And
My
we
mum
are-
says so.
We are 3 guys, but we're not real blokey. Do you know what I mean? We're soft and friendly and nice.
exactly like this timid request to ask you to listen to our podcast. Exactly. We're not going to bash you over the head. We're approachable men.
Yeah. So listen, when you're finished this one, don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a good part coming up.
But if you don't, we will bash you over the head. I know people. Anyway, enjoy the podcast.
No threat.
The rest of the campaign doesn't go great. We lose to Macedonia. We lose to Romania. Beat Liechtenstein again. Keep going. We eventually went.
So that was our group, was it?
That was
Iceland, Macedonia, Liechtenstein, and Romania.
Yeah.
And we
And
didn't get out of that.
yeah, we have Lithuania. Yeah, I said Lithuania, Romania. Yeah, so we play all of those.
Wait, Lithuania or Liechtenstein?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
More countries that have just come into existence.
Yeah. But
not Liechtenstein, but yeah.
But we end up conceding late against Romania and then have to go to a playoff against Belgium.
Right.
Who are kind of like us at the time, that they would have been a big team, but they have it's a transition period. A lot of older lads are leaving, younger lads are coming through. It's a toss-up. Anyone can win this.
Yeah.
Now, Keane can't play in a good lot in these games.
Right.
Because he's done his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's been injured. So there's not gonna blame the man for not playing for the country when he can't walk for a good couple of months.
Fair.
This is the famous time where he got injured trying to trip Alf-Inge Haaland before he went back and did the tackle. Later on, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah,
but or actually maybe that won't come up in this story. It's not important. It's an interesting story because people always level that he went out there to injure the man and end his career.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably did try to do that.
Right.
But that's not what ended his career. That the guy had already been in for knee surgeries. That he hadn't been having a good time anyway. He tried to sue. They couldn't prove it in court.
Yeah.
He did go out there to try and maim him. And then I stood over him after he did that to him and abused him. But Haaland had accused him of faking the injury when he did his ACL. So there's no right and wrong.
Who do you side with?
Yeah. It's he probably shouldn't have done it, but he didn't end the man's career. He did go and play like 2 games the next week and was in and out or whatever.
Yeah.
Even in
but
that,
he did go out to try and end his career.
If you look at the video, the other knee he has strapped up.
Yeah.
In that, and then that's the knee that he has to retire over.
Right.
But still, Keane, that was a thuggish move.
Yes.
And even though, there's people, I think that's the one where Raymond Dunphy was like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you call him a thug. It's like, look at the video.
Yeah.
There's no defending it. There's I do find it funny to say that people will go, oh yeah, that ended the man's career. Like, no, the other knee's strapped up and that's the one that caused a lot of issues and all of that. But also, that's not a defense of what is a maiming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what they call a cynical tackle.
The home game we draw 1-1. We go to Brussels then. Ray Houghton levels it to put us 1-1 over there as well. And then the referee overrules the linesman to give them a throw-in. The linesman he's like, I'm right beside it. I saw it. It's going that way. The ref is like, no, you're wrong. Go the other way. They throw it in up to the big man up top. Bang, back of the net.
Okay. 2
minutes later, David Connolly gets sent off. Ireland go home.
Yeah.
We're not qualifying. But because none of the fans stormed the stadium because we're not fucking loud GAA fans, FIFA give us an award for being good crack.
Yeah.
The 1997 Fair Play Award for general good humour and exemplary behaviour. Also because when we played Iceland, 1,200 fans travelled to Iceland, even though they said at the time there was like 6 Irish people living in Iceland. But we sent over...
And boy, were their couches busy that weekend.
Well, there was an Irish bar that was there, and they cut the price of a pint in half, and they said they still made money.
Just 12 Irish people live and work in Iceland. Most of them have some connection with this pub behind me, the Dubliner in Hafnarstræde. However, this weekend they'll be joined by over 1,200 of their compatriots who've flown in from Dublin, the United Kingdom and North America.
Came from Toronto just out for the weekend, and hopefully Ireland are going to win.
I would say this is going to be our World Cup, this particular venue this weekend. We're going on to Lithuania after this, so we're making our World Cup.
Here's £3 a point. All the scare stories at home is £8 a point now, so you can't go wrong.
Well, the price of the drink is... You didn't buy a drink.
I think there's about 6 Irish people living in Reykjavik, and one of them is a priest. He's been chasing us around the place to go to mass and that sort of stuff. Very few Irish people living in Reykjavik. We dropped our prices from £6 a pint to £3 a pint for the Irish contingent for the weekend. And we're still making a few quid on the thing, but we're well stocked with Guinness and we're flying through it, so hopefully it'll hold out.
Also,
what FIFA invented the Fair Play Award.
There was it already existed, but we won it that year because they were like, oh, you got screwed here. Also, your fans are great crack.
Yeah.
So it was something that we still we hang our hats on that today. Sure. That's still a big thing. But
when Thierry Henry slapped that ball into the back of the net, they're like, would you like a second Fair Play Award?
And we said nothing. But also, England had been over to Rome just a couple of weeks beforehand. And yeah. That was an issue, and that didn't go great. And they were like, "You're from close enough to the same part. You didn't go.
You didn't burn the place down.
You didn't fight and stab anyone. Let's give you an award." Northern Ireland won it, I think, as well in '98 because Linfield played Cliftonville, and no
one got bombed.
No one got bombed.
Interesting.
And they were like, that's also...
Fair play to you.
Yeah, it's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But Ireland had only won one of their 8 friendly games before the 98 qualifying group.
Right.
And a few felt that the lack of goals in Mick's Millwall side towards the end of his time there could be now seen in the Irish team and their failure to qualify for Euro 2000.
Right.
Where a last-minute goal...
It turns out when he was doing pretty bad with the club team, he's not doing any better with the national team. It's the same problem.
Football is a funny old game.
Pundits are on hundreds of thousands of euro a year to figure out this sort of stuff.
But
hold on a tick.
But we mess up last minute. It's a very bad moment for Irish football. Macedonia deny us top spot, and then we go to another playoff and we lose to Turkey.
Okay.
The highlights of that campaign include blooding a young Robbie Keane and Damien Duff into the team. So now the team is getting better. We're after getting some stars into the team.
This is what
Roy
you told me we
from
referred
injury.
to as the banter era. This is
That's
the
the
little
end.
dip.
Now we're getting good.
Now we're getting good again.
Yeah. No, the banter era would have been 2004.
We're still
until now kind of
well in the second banter era.
Yeah. If anything, Euro 2012 didn't do us any favours.
No, but there's probably a lot of Irish fans in like probably 2001, 2002 be like, thank God the bad times are over. That was a rough couple of years there.
Okay, success might be gone, but at least now we'll start playing good football. But actually, I'm going to pour myself some...
You know what?
Pour
me a glass of football special there.
McDade's football special. Glug, 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 glug.
Goes down smooth, like... I tried to do a football reference there.
Alfingy
Haaland.
Yeah, so Keane is pretty livid from the get-go because they show up to the Netherlands game, the very first match of it, and the dinner beforehand, he says...
Fish and chips again.
Lads eating cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
And he had asked specifically for, let's do pasta, let's have just chicken or fish, and let's do this correctly.
He saw coq mazur on the menu, didn't know what it was. He was pretty disappointed when the cheese sandwich came out.
Well, his version of events is disputed. And there's another version that might be true that people said, well, because we were in like a 5-star Hilton, that we had a buffet breakfast, a buffet lunch, and a full dinner with pasta, fish, chicken, or whatever meat you'd want after the 7:30 training session.
Yeah.
But after the lunch, lads went for a nap, and if they wanted a quick snack before the training session, there was some snacks and some sandwiches.
Right.
Like that. Now, that's up for debate.
Right.
So one story goes that Keane came into the dining room at 5 o'clock before this training session and wanted to know where the pasta was. And then one of the coaching staff had said, we ate it all. And Keane said, what did you say? And he was like, we ate it all right. And then Keane kicks a table and then walks out. They go, does the training, comes back, refuses to go for dinner with the guys, and then gets a takeaway pizza in his bedroom.
Right.
And has it on his own. And that's the pizza, I'm pretty sure he says, international footballer, having to eat a pizza. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank wouldn't have to eat a pizza.
So he literally has to eat it. Well, wait,
he's making a point.
Yeah, but they ate all the pasta. Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't and they were just making a joke and he didn't hang around long enough for it. Either way, he's asked for a diet.
Surely.
But and again, cheese sandwiches, probably not the best thing to be eaten.
But pizza? This all feels like, from my ignorant point of view, the same kind of thing.
He's a great man for a little bit of hypocrisy.
Yeah,
He loves a little bit of hypocrisy. Or else he doesn't really understand.
I mean, we all do.
Maybe he doesn't understand what it quite is.
Right.
Because when he's been saying all of this about, like, how about take it seriously, lads? I know I drank in my earlier days back when I was younger, but now I'm captain. I play for Man United now. This is a very serious thing.
But we're the same age that you were back when that stuff was happening. I don't see how that's relevant at all to the story. When I was 21, I was drinking in America. That doesn't mean you should be drinking in the Netherlands.
Never mind 21. How about 7 months before, 2 days after Man United have just won the Premier League, and 5 days before they're about to play the FA Cup final in '99 against Newcastle, and Keane gets arrested for being drunk and belligerent in a bar in Manchester because he says he was celebrating the game and then he kicks a woman in the thigh.
Okay.
Now, those charges are dropped, but that's the story.
Just like that woman.
That's what she said to the press, and that's what made it to the newspaper.
Yeah.
And Alex Ferguson got a phone call when Keane is drunk in the cell saying, you got to come out and get me.
Yeah.
And this is 7 months before, just after winning the league, 5 days before the FA Cup final, he's off getting locked.
Yeah. That story did take a turn because like who? So after the one with Man United celebrating in Manchester, it's like who the hell would call in a tip? If you did kick a woman, that would probably be the line.
The charges are dropped.
Yes.
And that's probably not because he's a famous sports star and captain of the team.
I can't see how that would factor into it at all.
No.
What, like a woman brought a case against a famous sports star in the late 90s? I'm pretty sure the legal system would have done its job there, Jason. Pretty sure we could trust in the judiciary force.
But yeah, so this idea, the narrative of so stupid basically, that people go like, "Now this man is a professional and he's serious." It's like, no, he'll openly admit this carried on into like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. He was still drinking. He'll say that himself. He was getting locked. He said he would drink after a bad result to drown the sorrows. He'd drink after a good result to celebrate.
Yeah.
He's doing all of that, but it's okay for him because he's captain of Manchester United.
Sure.
If the lads doing it for Ireland are doing it and he doesn't like playing for Ireland, then that's not on.
Yeah.
So this whole, that narrative is like of him being uber professional, and this guy is not true at all. Also, he went to his own room and had a pizza when he could have sat with the lads and had fish and pasta.
But there was no pasta. That's the whole point.
He went in at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
When it's not dinner time.
I'm still laughing at the idea of I don't know, 'cause you said it might have been a joke that they pulled on him, which I'm sure that guy was just some new staffer seeing Roy walking in and be like, all right, lads, watch this. Yeah, the pass is gone, Roy.
Ask him for keys to the goalposts. But the Dutch game, we go out and take a surprising 2-0 lead, and then only to let it slip to 2-2. But then the lads are delighted with that because before the game, you'd bite their hand off, especially because there was no pasta. You have to eat something. But he was fuming because all the players come in celebrating in the dressing room afterwards because, again, beforehand, 2-2 away from home against a really good Dutch team. Mm-hmm. That's a good result. But not now, because and that's when he does an interview afterwards. It's pretty famous one. He's like, we need to stop, take it seriously and not just being like the good time Charlies or whatever. A bit like, we're after letting a 2-goal lead slip against one of our rivals here. We could have beat them away and been top of the group to begin with.
Instead of being happy over a draw. Yeah.
Which is, that's going to be the thing.
It's a winner's mentality.
Yeah. So in that group, we get 2 draws with Portugal. So home and away, we beat Finland.
Hang on, let me just think about that for a second.
Oh no, never mind a draw with Portugal. How about the idea of beating the heights of the big teams like Finland, Cyprus, Andorra, Estonia, things you couldn't count.
Whoa. Slow down. You're saying this all happened.
We went through an entire campaign, didn't lose. We drew 2 games and won. We drew 3 games against the Dutch and the Portuguese, and then we beat everybody else. In the second last game, the Dutch came over to Lansdowne Road, and that's when the Jason McAteer scored that goal, 68-minute winner. Everyone goes mad. Shea Given us a great game. Little aside, during that World Cup qualification, in the away games to Cyprus and Andorra, Mick McCarthy's dad dies of cancer, and Mick doesn't leave the team. He stays with them to continue managing, and then we beat Andorra away. I think it goes Cyprus first and then Andorra second, and he stays with them during all of that, doesn't leave, and says, fairness, good man. Someone did say, I read it online, didn't see a quote for it, but someone said it was one of his dying wishes, one of his last wishes, that Mick stay with the national team. But
you could be here by my side as I slip out of this world, but I'd rather see you beat Andorra. How close is he to his family? Missing his brother's wedding and then his dad on his deathbed.
That's how
like
close,
cancers.
That's how close he is to Ireland.
That's not a quick one. That's you know.
Oh, he would have
getting
known
calls up until.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that's what he would have been. He would have known going on the trip. This is a possibility.
Yeah,
and his dad would have told him, "No, go do the thing because we have a chance of qualifying here."
Yeah, but you know,
we're on a roll.
Yeah,
we've been winning. You can't be. Also, people will hold it against you. You with that accent.
Yeah,
people will hold that against you. Because you know what? Having done all of that, didn't
people
help
still
him anyway.
Against him anyway. Yeah,
we scored.
Just remembered was it Tony Hoolan? Well, didn't his wife die like during COVID? And he was. He went right back to work. Everyone was like, "You trying to run for fucking president of Ireland? Get the fuck back in the bin." Where did that eat some money from Trinity or something?
Yeah, he got a job.
Yeah, he got a job. He got paid. Everyone's like, "You fucking." I was sick of seeing your face in the news. Yeah,
didn't you cause COVID?
He was always the one who was talking about it. Yeah. Look into his bank account. Anyway.
But Jason McAteer scores that winner against Netherlands, so now we're definitely going to the World Cup. No, sorry, we're definitely going to a playoff. because Portugal are going to finish top on goal difference. We finished joint with them, but it's just the I think we would have been joint with the Dutch. So we end up finishing on 24 points with Portugal, undefeated in the group, and Netherlands go home with their tail between their legs.
Amazing.
Jason McAteer, he scores that winner. So the story goes, he gets a phone call after the game.
McAteer does.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gets into the dressing room at the end of the game, and Mick Byrne, who's like the physio of the team, he's like he's like our father, he's brilliant, he's like our dad, he's a fantastic character. And he comes into the dressing room and he gives me a big hug and he's like made up. He says to me, I've just had the lead singer of U2 on Bono, just had him on the blower. He says, they're live in Slane tonight, big concert, sold out, thousands and thousands of people. They want you to go on stage. So I'm thinking to him, he wants me to go on stage with him. So he goes, yeah, he wants you to go down. I said, listen, Mick, I said, I've got Aldo's come the game. I said, I've got him tickets and all the lads and that. I said, I've got a night out planned. I said, I can't go on stage with Bono. He says to me, listen, he'll fly our helicopter in for you, right? They'll pick you up, they'll land at Slane, and you go out with him and he's gonna make a big... I went, Mick, I can't do it. I can't let Aldo down, he's one of my heroes, I can't do it. So anyway, I'm thinking, what should I do? And I thought, I'm going out with Aldo. And I went into town that night and I met Aldo and I went... Anyway, there was a part of me that didn't really believe Mick, to be fair. And I went to Vegas about a year later, and I was having a piss in a bar in Vegas. And there's a lad standing next to me, and he goes, because obviously you know my nickname's Trigger. He goes, Trigger. He said, I was watching a DVD the other day. He said, U2 live in Slane. He went, that fucker Bono comes out with a flag wrapped around him, shouts your name, kicks a beach ball into the crowd. I went, you're having a laugh, aren't you?
Close your eyes and imagine it's Jason McAteer.
Somebody goes home, buys a DVD, and there's Bono shouting McAteer all over the place, saying he scored the winner against Holland, and I fucked him off. Oh, mate, tell you, things you do. It's true. I went, fuck off, I'm going. And I went out with Aldo. It was a shit night.
That would have been maybe the greatest moment in Ireland's history.
Oh my God. I'm getting chills just thinking about how
raging you'd be if you didn't go and do that.
Yeah, Jim McAteer.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Because if everyone did close their eyes and then they opened them and
he was
McAteer
there,
was actually there having just done it.
That'd be one of those that you just constantly see that clip on any kind of Irish.
It would start every reel in the years.
Yeah, not just for the whole century. That'd be up there with the "You Try It Sometime" as iconic. Jason McAteer being brought onto a live Slane crowd to U2 at the height of their fame. That would have been, one of the most iconic moments of.
And instead he's just in a pub, just drinking with Aldridge.
Yeah, to be fair, if you got a call after a match, be like, no one knows what Bono sounds like.
No, but you'd also be like, I'd be like, okay, I'll believe it when I see the helicopter.
Well, you think that...
Send the helicopter, and then if a helicopter shows up, it's probably Bono.
Yeah, but you know Irish.
Although it's the Celtic Tiger, everyone had one.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think the fucking lads couldn't get hold of a helicopter?
Yeah.
And you know how sports boys are with their banter. Even if you went down to wait for the helicopter, they just would have been calling them helicopter. All right, helipad McAteer for the rest of his tenure.
Because I have a couple of just little bits about McAteer.
Yeah.
There's one or two I probably shouldn't say. I'll tell them to you and then we can cut them out after.
Sure.
Someone had told me that he would, when he had slept with someone, the next morning there'd be a little gift package there for them so they wouldn't feel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And in a signed photo of his face. But someone knows a girl who had got one and it said, "Thanks for the memoirs."
Yeah,
can't be proven.
Well, it could be proven. Yeah. There's probably a few of them out there.
Yeah, and then there's you hear this one about a load of people, I guess, but there's they went out for pizza, and when they came around, everyone was getting their own pizza, and they asked the waitress was like, "Would you like that in 8 slices or 16?" He went, only 8. I couldn't finish 16.
That's like a Kerryman joke.
But here's one that he's said himself that's been that I don't know if it's been proven, but he's admitted it.
Okay,
that he should have never been allowed to play for Ireland.
Why?
Because his granddad wasn't Irish.
What, did he just lie?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the FAI specifically lied for him that Jack Charlton had seen him play a game, and he was like, they'd said with a name like McAteer, and they'd looked into it, and they said that he'd said, they're like, do you have Irish in you, whatever it is? And he's like, let me go check and ask the man that. And then he found out that his dad's grandfather, or great grandfather. So he's like, the rule is if your grandfather or grandmother is from Ireland, you can play.
Your grandfather.
He's another 2 generations removed from that. So not just 1 off.
Yeah.
He's gotten 2 off.
Yeah.
And then they check that and it's not going to work. But he's already played a game, I think, for Ireland.
Yeah.
And then they finally switch it where the rule goes, if you're going to play for the national team, you have to get like citizenship. So they have to go actually look into it then. And then the FAI call him up and they say, we've traced it back. There's 3 men from Down around that time. Can't look into it any further. Just pick one. We'll say that's your granddad. And they brought him down to a court and then got it all approved.
Yeah.
So he was 5th generation Irish.
Yeah.
And scored the goal that got us to the World Cup.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then could have been on stage with you too. So he's one of the few ones when people go like, it's just fucking this English lad just playing for Ireland. You're like, that one's true.
Yeah.
And he can't even... but that's not the worst. We've done that before. Tony Cascarino played like 88 times for us, scored a bunch of goals, was there for all of like the Italia 90 and like all the back in Charlton's heyday. His adopted mother was Irish, but he only found out that he was adopted way later into his career. He already had like 80 caps, and then he found out and he just didn't say anything.
Sure.
And then he's still a legend for us, but had no... you're not allowed to do that.
Is that adoption doesn't count? No.
No.
Okay.
You have to be. So it's we've had that.
But how are they checking? I suppose. Yeah. If there
they
are 3
weren't.
people,
Just the thing. They weren't. Yeah. They were like, why would someone want to lie about that? Like, just to play international football
for Ireland.
Yeah. In fairness, McAteer had been at the time called up to the national team for Ireland or the England B team.
Right.
And then he was like, well, I could.
Yeah.
He was also from Liverpool, so he didn't consider himself British.
Right.
And
there's surely someone called McAteer in Ireland 3 generations ago.
Yeah, definitely 5.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, so but after that game, when we beat the Dutch, that's one of the big moments of Irish football history because Keane he's walking off the field. McCarthy goes over to him to try and shake his hand.
Yes.
And that's where we get the famous handshake. And after that, we then go into the playoffs where we'd get drawn against the mighty Iran. And so Roy Keane comes over for the home game, the first leg against Iran.
Yes.
And we beat them 2-0 and all is grand. And then here's where the real problems begin.
This is the World Cup qualifier.
Yeah.
We've gotten through to the next
We're
stage.
into the playoff. All we need to do is not lose to Iran.
Away.
Yeah. In Tehran.
Yes.
Where they have the Bobby Sands burger restaurant.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Bobby Sands Street, yes.
Yeah. So
which is the second time that we mentioned this season. But yeah.
Keane says, and this becomes a sticking point, that Alex Ferguson has talked to Mick McCarthy in advance of the games.
Yeah.
And they know that if you get an acceptable or a positive result in the first game, he won't play the second game.
Yeah.
Now, Keane hadn't played for 3 weeks for Man United before these games. He'd been injured. McCarthy says, regardless of what's gone on before or after, Keane felt okay. And he said on the Saturday when they beat them 2-0, I'm going to go to that game.
Right.
And then the next day says, it's acted up overnight.
Yeah.
And I don't feel good about it. And then at another point in the future says, no, I said it hurt the last 20 minutes of the game, it was hurting. But he never said that to the physio after. So his story has changed a couple of times.
Yes.
But then anytime he's ever been called out on that, he goes, well, they talked about it before and Ferguson, you had an agreement.
Okay, yeah.
But that it's because McCarthy was like, no, you said though on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then he says...
But he's... Whatever. The adrenaline of the game, the heat of the day.
And that, you could kind of forgive a man for that. It goes like, you're a captain of the team, you're about to go to the World Cup.
You've won at home, you're like, yes, of course we'll do the fucking next game. The next day you wake up, you're like, actually...
And it might be sore the next day.
And it's not a good idea.
And then there's one account where he says Ferguson calls on the Sunday and says that he can't go over.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stories going around, but at some point, like it's definitely happened where they had a conversation with Ferguson, with McCarthy and Ferguson and Keane. I think Ferguson's on the phone, but they all agree that he's not going to go.
Yeah.
And then at some point that changes, and then probably changes again.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people would level the accusation of like, or just the idea of, well, why wouldn't you just go and sit in the stands? And then Keane's like, well, it's a long way to fly with a dodgy knee.
Why wouldn't you just travel into Iran? Yeah. What is this, 2000?
Yeah, 2001.
Even better.
Late 2001.
Yeah, that's a great time to be flying into the Middle East.
Fly into the Middle East to sit in the stands as one of the most famous soccer players in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they let those US hostages go eventually.
Yeah.
You know.
But Keane says he has to go to like France because he's physio. He's a special physio over there for his knee and he's got or his legs, whatever. He's doing stuff over there.
Sure.
He says, I was feeling my knee again on Sunday morning. The manager, Ferguson, rang and said, we classed 2-0 as a positive result. And that was it. I decided to come home. In my eyes, the game was over. I couldn't see us losing 3-0. Mick says, Roy arrives on Thursday. Same day as the Iranians. He's stayed in Manchester for treatment on knee, but says it's no more than a niggle. So long as he doesn't get a bang, he should be fine for both matches against Iran. I'm pretty impressed with my McCarthy.
Very good, yeah. Could have been on Gift Grub.
Yeah.
How's your Jerry Ryan?
I thought you were going to say, how's your Jerry Adams?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Mick Byrne and I speak to Roy after the game, and he says his knee's fine, and he'll be travelling with us to Iran on Monday. Next day, Keane announced to McCarthy... No, it's not a quote. But Keane says to McCarthy the next day his knee has reacted badly overnight, and then McCarthy's he says, he's out the door without as much as a goodbye to other players. I spoke to Ferguson about his concerns for Roy last week and the possibility of him only playing in the first leg if the result was cut and dry. Roy knew about the discussion with the boss, yet despite this, he was happy to commit himself to going to Iran on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
The story, so it does change an awful lot back and forth, but that's pretty much what's happened.
Okay.
That, he's probably in the adrenaline heat at the moment. He's agreed to go.
Yeah.
And then, no.
Maybe Mick said it to him in front of all the boys in the locker room
No,
as well.
see, no, it's not. Yeah.
Right.
But Keane just tips on the next day, classic thing of not saying
Doesn't
goodbye
say
to
it to
anyone.
anyone,
And doesn't call Mick, doesn't do anything.
But then Mick's going saying this in the press, is he? Is that what the quotes are from?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's in Mick's World Cup diary. So this only comes out after the World Cup.
Right.
When he's wrote a diary about his account of everything that's gone on.
Right. His memoirs.
Yeah. But so now we're on to Saipan.
Yes.
Ireland haven't been to a major tournament.
So how does the second Iranian game go?
Oh, so it's also Iran are really bad. So we just it's 0-0. We were the better of the teams, I think. And then in the very last minute, like in injury time, they score one goal.
Right. So still.
So we still go through 2-1, and it's like they score. Even when they score, they're celebrating, but they're running back to the halfway line. It's already over. It's done. But now we go to Saipan. Yes. And Ireland hadn't been to a major tournament for 8 years, so there's very few people who've ever been to one.
Yeah.
Including the players, the management, some of the administration staff. So something in their DNA says, you know what you should do? What would be a good idea? A little team bonding.
Ahead of yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
That we need to get over and do a little bit of bonding.
Yes.
Chill out.
Young boys don't know what it's about.
Also, it's very warm over there.
Sure.
So we need to acclimatise and better do that away from the media.
Yes.
So
now, where is Saipan? It's a
little
Indonesia.
tiny island off of Japan. Yeah, but it's a good bit away. It has a lot of history with the Americans went in there and did some atrocities back during what was World War II at time.
Yeah, the worst tragedies that happened to the place until now.
Yeah.
There's still some Japanese soldiers out in that island be like, I thought Saipan was still happening.
I'm not coming out until I see Keane.
And
then Roy Keane comes and tells me he's not playing in the World Cup.
No, it's all over. Ireland are doing terrible now. I wouldn't believe it. Stay back.
He's still in the 2002 jersey.
I'm not putting down my guns till I hear it from Roy himself that it's okay. Yeah.
But so all the guys, it was decided by the FAI that they were going to go over to this tiny island, like 50,000 people.
Yeah.
It's more of a holiday destination kind of place. Keane had turned down the chance just beforehand to play in Niall Quinn's testimonial.
Okay.
That's when you finish your playing career.
Yeah.
You pick two teams, usually ones you've played for, but Niall Quinn went Ireland and Sunderland, who he played for / was going to own. Manage, yeah. That's a whole story. We won't have time for that.
We can talk to historian Niall Quinn about that someday.
Different Niall Quinn?
No, he's got like a PhD in history.
Oh,
Isn't
really?
it the same Niall Quinn?
Oh, is it the rewriting of history? Fair play to him. He's a very smart man. I'll give him that. Yeah, he was in Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Keane doesn't decide to go. Captain of Ireland won't go to play for one of the other senior Irish players, like testimonial. It's a way to make your last big payday as well.
Yeah.
And obviously some money for charity, do whatever. Keane, he wouldn't be liking friendlies. He doesn't. Testimonials are worse than friendlies.
Sure.
And the season's just ended for him.
Yeah.
A few days right before, and he's been struggling with an injury. He said he's got a couple of dead legs and that, so he's like, he can't even go to France because he's physio. He's just going to rest and recuperate in Manchester, spend a day or two with his wife and kids, because he's directly afterwards he's going to have to fly to Ireland and then straight from there to Saipan.
Sure.
Same as all the other players. They're all, but they're going playing the game, then going to Dublin, and then all going to Saipan. But Keane's like, I'm kind of injured and I'm not driving 3 hours from Manchester up to Sunderland for a game that I can't even play. And then people level it's like, how about you go and sit in the stands? A lot of people want Roy Keane to go and sit in the stands.
Why wouldn't he go to Sunderland, sit in the stands in the early 90s? I mean, they released those prisoners eventually.
He decides not to do that and goes to the cinema with his wife and kids and just chills out. And then
what does he go see? That'll be the whole basis of my...
It doesn't say, and I was looking into it because movies will come up very soon.
Okay.
And it's here that they say the team are all briefed about what's going to happen in Saipan.
Right.
That they're all going to play, like they're going to have just play a little bit of golf, do a little bit of training, get ready, a little bit of team bonding, which is just going for pints.
Yes.
And everyone's on board with that. Now, I don't think that was a big issue. That's something that they kind of say, oh, he didn't know. Like,
if he had been there, he would have...
Yeah, but he would have known that that's what they were doing. It's not like he was like, what were we doing? Someone would have told him.
Sure.
But instead, he meets up with the team in Dublin.
Yeah.
And then the lads, led by their captain, Roy Keane, they're all about to head off to Saipan.
It sounds like the boys are about to start playing some very special football. Delicious. If only Roy had have had McDade's football special.
No offence to McDade's, but I'm pretty sure he would have lost his mind if he saw anyone drinking cola at the time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he's like, you can get on board with the pints. You can allow lads that.
Yeah.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.